Hi, my name's the Run Love, and I kind of just do whatever I want. I talk, I rant, I do speed paint sometimes, I show off my music sometimes. I exist, man. I exist in the void, and you're just existing with me. So, yeah, let's exist together, and let's talk about why adulting sucks. All right, into the video.
Come be an awkward beat with me.
Alright, so if you're seeing this part of the video, you probably already made it past the intro, so lucky you, good for you, nice to see you. I don't know why I went on like that. If you can't tell, everything is unscripted as heck, so you just kind of roll with it, you know? But yeah, so today, if you saw the title, we're talking about, being in our healing era. Um, and you're probably like, oh, that sounds great. How does that suck as an adult? Because a lot of the stuff that you're healing from happened when you were a kid, and it really wasn't your fault most of the time. I mean, sometimes people are just crazy kids, but even then, you're just a kid and you didn't have the right guidance and whatnot. So, like, this is me just kind of ranting about adulting sucking as an adult. I've said adult 3 times, now 4. That's crazy. But basically, when we are healing as an adult, it's a choice. It's a choice. You can either say, fuck it, I'm just gonna move on, or and hold all these negative feelings, or you can choose, I'm going to attempt to heal. Now, the first time that you attempt to heal, it's not gonna be easy. I mean, it's not easy either way, but when you're out here exhibiting behaviors that are like toxic, it's for a reason. And normally it's not because because you're on the inside really a toxic person. Sometimes it could just be like you need to heal and you need to figure out what you need to do to heal, if that makes any sense. So, for example, like I've gone through the ringer, childhood wise. I've gone through a lot, and that is for a different video. um, but basically, I decided that I wanted to heal probably when it hit like, I was like 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to have them over here like, oh, I'm doing this because this happened to me. Like, that's not an excuse. And I get tired of hearing it. I genuinely get tired of people telling me, like, I'll ask them, why did you do that? That was really mean. And their response is always similar to like, oh, well, because as a kid, something like this happened and blah, 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 blah. Like, why are you bringing up something that happened years and years ago? Like, you have that's not an excuse. I hope you know that, right? Like, this is how you would bring up your trauma if that's going to be an actual, like excuse, but you're holding yourself accountable, you know? So let's try that again. Why were you so toxic? Why were you being so toxic right now? Like that's not okay. Oh, well, you see, I was beat as a child, and it's caused me to have anger issues, and I'm not, no, this isn't on you at all. I'm just explaining, like, that's where the pinpoint of the problem is, and I think I need help. I'm gonna try and find some resources to get better. And I know that what I just did probably made our relationship not good, but like I am gonna try and get some help. You see how like you're holding yourself accountable. You're not saying, oh, it's your fault, you did this, so I did this, or because I got beat, I'm gonna be mad at you. Like you don't use your trauma as an excuse. You use it as a token to be able to be accountable for yourself. So for an example, something that I did, I'm not very happy I did it, or a habit that I had, I was very deflective and I would blame my issues on other people. So like when I was like 18, 19 years old, I would do something wrong and I would get immediately defensive. I'm like, I didn't do that. Well, if I did it, it was because of you. Like, like I would be very like, or I would, it was just not cute. It was not a cute time in my life. I would straight up kind of be like, well, you should have said this, and then maybe I wouldn't have done this, or obviously blaming the other person's actions. Like, let me think of an example, because I can't really remember an exact time that I did it, but I'm sure that I did it. You ever have that moment? You ever have that moment, guys? I love how I have to look directly into the camera, because then I can be like, did you? But no, like, for example, blah, 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 blah. Like, if I go up, like, let's say, what's a good example? Now that I think about it. Oh, yeah. So, let's say that I get told, "Hey, Ren, you told me that you were going to do the dishes, and they're still there. Like, what happened?" And my response is, "Oh, well, I didn't really have the time to do the dishes. I mean, if you did the dishes, maybe it would be done quicker if it's such a problem." You see, catching an attitude for no reason. I don't need to be catching an attitude for no reason, right? The way to handle that situation would have been like this. Because I'm going to be so for real. I feel like I've had that conversation before, and I have been that, you know. And this is how what I really meant to say, or what I should have said, or, you know, how I should have been more accountable for my actions, right? So let's rewind it, okay? Hey, Ren, yeah? So, why didn't you do the dishes? You told me that you were going to do them, and they're not done. Like, when are you getting them done? It's been like a day. Instead of getting defensive and deflective. This is how it should go, right? "Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Look, I genuinely got busy, but I will get on those right now, so that I don't forget, because honestly, I tend to forget a lot of stuff, and it's something I really need to work on. I am so sorry. Let me get up and take care of that." You see how I didn't, like, blame it on anyone else but myself? I didn't blame it on the other person. I didn't blame it on the other person's actions or the dish. You know, like, I just went and got it done. Another thing is, like, when you're in your healing era, you start to become vulnerable in ways that you have never really been vulnerable before. Like, sure, talking about your problems amongst your friends and getting into a deep dive and kind of having those friends that you talk to about everything. Yeah, sure. That is vulnerable. But you don't understand. When you get to a point where you are mentally and aware of that you are you're intentionally trying to heal from things, you know, at first you're gonna think what you're doing is working. So, like, I was in therapy for years, and a lot of the big things was coping mechanisms, and I also grew up with something called STAR method. If you don't know what the STAR method is, I'll just play it out for you. Let me scoot over a little bit, and editor me, can you, like, put it over here somewhere? Can you? Hopefully you can, or this video is gonna look really weird. So yeah, STAR, STAR, stop, think, and react. Yeah. The stopping and thinking is the hard part. Everything else is just reactions. And that is kind of how I've navigated my emotions a lot, is just reacting. And when you start to stop and think and then react, it starts to get a little bit like, you start to realize, oh God, I just spouted some bullshit. Like, I just spouted a bunch of bullshit at somebody. What? Why would I do that? Why did I do that? And then you start to kind of go, well, I did it because of this. So then you start meditating with your thoughts. And what I mean by meditating with your thoughts, because when you think of meditating, you think of, like you're just peaceful and you're sitting there meditating. No. What I mean by that is, like, you sit there and you go, why was I just mean to this person? They did nothing wrong. Okay, well, I did it because I was feeling like they were attacking me. Were they attacking me, though? No, they were genuinely just asking me a question about why I didn't do the dishes. If I was in their shoes, how would I... what my words would have made me upset. Okay, so what can I do to remedy the situation? I have two options. I can ignore the fact that I did it and just not apologize, or I can go up there as a person and go, okay, I think I just deflected on you and you had no reason to, like, no rhyme or reason to be treated this way. So I think I need to work on that. I'm so sorry. I could come to them as a person and do that. So it's a lot of trying to really be more intentional with what you say, how you react to stuff, and being more patient with others because you want to be able to understand them, and being more understanding towards yourself. And I am not done healing. You're not really done healing. There's not really just I'm done. I'm done healing. No, it's not that. You kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, I am getting better. I'm getting better, you know. And once you get to a point where you're in the stage of really thinking about what you're saying and doing and what other people are saying and doing, you're going to get to a point where you get really confused, and with yourself and with other people. You're going to be like, oh my God, so many people have talked to me this way in my life and still talk to me to this day. How do I hold boundaries with these people? I care about them. Like, how do I talk to them and continue to be like, oh, I'm sorry I did that. Let me do that. How can I respond that way when a lot of these people outside of that, you know, ask me about dishes, like that's totally normal, but they're actually like lying to me. They're doing a bunch of stuff behind my back. They're talking about me. Like it's just a lot of just jumbles, and like you start to realize, oh my God, I need to cut off people in my life. And I don't mean like, and a lot of people, it takes a long time to get to that point. I've been cutting people off for years. And it's getting to a point where like my inner circle is about 3 to 5 people. Like I don't talk to people outside of my well, I do talk to people in my fan base on my Discord, but y'all don't get to have my Discord until y'all earn it. Like we need to get some goals. We need to get to 500 subs. So press that button if you see it. Anyway, that was a little aggressive, but still. Okay, look, girls trying to get out there. I'm just being honest. And also I do love you guys. I love making these videos. They're fun. And I'm trying to get to a point where I'm making them like once a day. So yeah. But basically as an adult, it sucks because it's a very alone journey. Like people go to the gym and they like work their body out until they feel more confident in what they look like. In a way that's healing, but they also have to acknowledge that you should be doing it because you want to be healthy, not because you want to meet societal standards. Like, you see what I'm saying? Or like people will drink their sorrows away, or they'll make the excuse, I'm drinking because it's fun and I'm more fun, when really they're drinking to drink away their sorrows. Or there's people who are just kind of like eating healthy for the aesthetic, not for the health part of it. Like, you kind of have to think about, why am I doing these things? And it gets in there's no rush, but the thing is, I'm always in a rush. And I feel like a lot of people our age range are in a rush because we don't want to turn out like our parents, bitter and angry and tired and poor. On top of that, poor. I don't know why I said that with my chest too. Oh my God, I said that with my chest. I was over like, put a on it, freaking poor. And I don't want to be poor. I want to be the first billionaire in my family. So yeah, that's one thing. And I will do that. I will do that. And also, you're going to be annoyed with yourself. Other people are going to be annoyed with you, but you're going to be annoyed with yourself because you're going to sit here and think, oh my God, I want to eat chips right now. Like, or, oh my God, I want to, hold on just a second. I heard someone knocking. Okay, I'm back. My roommate was about to take my Takis, and I had to, you know, handle business. And now he's tapping on my door again. Give me a second. All right, I'm freaking finally back, and I've procured my Takis. So, yes. But now I feel like I've lost my train of thought, and I really hate that. So, but basically, when it comes to healing and stuff like that, there's going to be a point in time where you're going to be kind of like, just kind of figuring out what healing is for you and what you need to work on and what you don't need to work on, and just doing it intentionally and making sure that it's for the right reasons and not for, oh, I'm doing it because someone else told me to. I'm doing it because I see people on the internet. doing it. I see, you want to do it because you actually self-reflected and you sat there with yourself and went, oh my God, this is toxic. I'm going to become like my parents who are bitter, poor, and mean. So, right. And there's different ways to be accountable, but one of the biggest ways to be accountable is just actually like, okay, I did this. These are the consequences of my actions. What can I do to fix it? Or how can I continue to be better? Things like that. So that's kind of what healing really is being accountable for your thoughts, being accountable for yourself, and doing the things that you need to do to be better, even if it sucks. A lot of people that go to the gym have that mentality of like, I need to keep going and do reps and like, I wish I could explain it in the way that I'm thinking it, because it's easier to see it in my head than it is to speak it out to you guys, but I hope you understand what I'm saying, which is just kind of like when you go to the gym and you're purposeful about how much weights you're doing, how many sets you're doing because you're trying to tone up or you're trying to not tone up, like it's a process is my point. And I'm at this stage right now where I'm doing steps that I don't really want to do. I don't really want to have to go to treatment. I don't really want to have to do all this extra stuff. But if I don't, then I know that future me is not going to be proud. And I'm just going to look back and go, wow, me in this moment messed up. And I don't want to think that. I don't want to go back and see that for myself. I want to be able to kind of look back and go, oh my God, I did the work and this is where I'm at now. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys regarding like why adulting sucks or adulting sucks, healing era, whatever. If you could relate or you learned something from this video, or I don't know why I said it like that, Jesus Christ. But if you like the video or you just want to interact with me, make sure to comment, subscribe, push that bell notification, push the like, do all the stuff. Because I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm only sponsored by you guys. Actually, there is someone I do want to shout out. I met a beautiful fan in person, Editor Me. Can you put her somewhere over here? Can you put her somewhere here? Yep, perfect. And she is a really sweet person. And her name is Courtney with a K. We love her. I shouted her out on my Snapchat. And if you don't, I'll put the link in the link down below on my other socials. But basically, I was working at a store, and I ran into her. I saw her when I was walking into the store, and what actually caught my eye was her hair and her tattoo with Howl's Moving Castle. And I saw her walk around my booth a couple times, and it got to a point where I finally stopped her. I was like, hey, and I started to do my spiel, and eventually her brother actually stopped me. And her brother was like, hey, are you going to tell her? And I'm like, oh my God, does my breast thing? Do I look weird? And I am going to ask if she wants me to call out her socials or whatnot. But if she does, it'll be in the links below. But if not, then she just didn't give me that permission, and I'm not going to violate that. But basically, she just was very sweet. And she was like, I've been watching you for years. I didn't, and it was so sweet. I was like, it was kind of a wake me up of, oh my God, I do have a lot of panda babies out there. Cause I come from TikTok, so I have like 5,000 now. We're still up and growing. But my fan base is called the Panda Babies. And then I have a second account, called the Akko Beans. So that's why whenever I'm on here, if you've watched my previous videos, I'm like, you know what you are if you came from that. But if you are finding yourself here, then you're just a panda baby. That's just what you are. So I love you guys so much. And if you ever do see me in public, don't be afraid to walk up to me. I'm not, like I said, I'm authentic. I just am who I am. And I love seeing you guys. So, okay, editor, thank you. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. And I hope this video helped someone out or made someone feel good. And Courtney, if you're seeing this, I love you. Actually, let me look at the camera. Let me look at you, girl. I love you so much. It was so nice seeing you. And I know it's a long time coming because this happened in like May or June. But I'm so glad that I finally was able to do it. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Ooh.